Hello and welcome back to Rock Cycle. How you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Now today we've got a bit of a different video from the usuals, and that is that we're going to be looking at 10 possible future Reading and Leeds headlines. And by that I don't mean obvious things or obvious acts that are going to be there within the next couple of years, such as Catfish in the Bottom and Royal Blood and those kind of really big acts. We're going to be looking at some of the more obscure, a bit more not as mainstream acts. I mean, there's going to be a couple of more mainstream acts thrown into this, of course. But, well, basically, these are just 10 bands and, well, musical artists that I think have great potential, and I think we will be seeing headline the festival within 5 to 10 years would be my estimate, so I'd reckon that you keep your eye out on these and see what you think of them. But one quick thing before we do get into the video. The other day, I was just checking in on my social blade, of course, to see how much money I could be earning from this channel if YouTube would let me monetize it, which the bastards won't. And I happened to notice I lost a subscriber. So if there's any chance you're watching this, I just want to know why. I'm not mad, I promise. Well, actually that's a very big lie. I am fucking fuming. I'm just more disappointed. So if you want to help me out after that great loss of one subscriber, please consider subscribing to the channel. We make alright videos, I would say so myself. But yes, let's just get that all out of the way. Let's just get on to the actual artists. Now, first of all, we have a band I absolutely love, and that is Nothing But Thieves. Their second album managed to peak at number 2 in the UK chart, and their first album didn't do too bad either. But from only 2 albums, they already have a solid selection of songs, so many great ones out there. Connor Mason, their vocalist, really has a powerful, unique voice. He has such a vocal range that no one else really can reach that's in the indie rock scene. I do categorise these guys as indie rock and, well, alternative rock, unlike a lot of other people do, but they really have such a range. They go from slow ballads like Sorry to high, action-packed, hard-hitting rock and roll songs like Amsterdam. The band say themselves they don't really think of themselves as, well, a particular genre. They just make the music they want to make, and it's really working out for them. They don't try to set out and make a rock song. They just make whatever song they want to make that day. If you haven't seen these guys live, you're really missing out. They really pack a punch live. They have surprisingly energetic shows than you'd think from listening to a lot of their music. They really drive up that energy live, and it brings a new level to the show and makes them really enjoyable. One of my favourite live bands at the moment. So let's now look at our next artist. Now, this is one of the most successful female artists this year. She really was a breakout star, and her first album was a massive success. We are, of course, talking about Billie Eilish. Duh. Now, a lot of people are already talking about her as a potential headliner for the Reading and Leeds Festival 2020. And while I do think she could be arguably big enough for that, I don't think she's the music to pad out an hour and a half long set. It'll basically be her exact same set as this year, plus a few more obscure songs that only the hardcore fans know. So I think if she continues on this trajectory, she has really strong potential to be the first solo female headliner of the festival. I just think she needs a few more big songs out. She has really broken the mould with her alternative ASMR pop. It's often quite stripped back, so you can really focus and emphasise her powerful voice, and she really does have a great voice for someone so young. But I do think one thing that will really help her out to reach their festival headliner level is to break past the edgy teenage girl stereotype. Now, I think she does certainly play into this to a degree, but I think it's also been thrown on her a bit and it's become a bit of a meme to joke about, or it's all the edgy girls like her. Like, she's basically My Chemical Romance for this generation. But I think if she could go the way like Panic at the Disco did, going from the edgy teenager music into the more mainstream music, it would help break her out, because once you get branded like an edgy emo style act, it kind of limits your audience. Like we saw with bands of My Chemical Romance and Fall Out Boy, like at the time they were really big in those scenes, but people who weren't in the scenes weren't really that keen on them and had a bit of a negative stereotype of cringy fans. So, well, yeah, I think as long as her next album is as good as, well, as successful as her first album, I don't see any reason why she could not headline the festival. Well, number 3 is Wolf Alice. Now, I started listening to these guys a bit when they first started. I sort of listened to them a bit, I thought it was okay, but never really bothered to come back to them. Then a couple of years back, I was walking past the tent at Reading and Leeds Festival. I heard this band on, I was like, hey, what is this? I really like this. I went to have a look, and it turned out it was them, and I was like, damn, who knew they'd come this far? This is great female-led rock music, which is something I really think we're going to be seeing a lot more at the festival, because it is going to be pushed a lot more at the festival, which I think is for the better. Let's get some more diversity in there. Wolf Alice have quite a unique style, like their music is a perfect marriage of radio-friendly rock and 90s grunge, combined in a way that sort of works quite well. Their second album, Visions of Life, got to number 2 in the UK and even won a Mercury Prize, and that's quite a big deal if you don't know about it. So I think they're checking all the boxes as early indicators of a band that's going to go on to a headline level. Now we've got number 4, and this is a band I absolutely love, and that is Don Broco. If you haven't seen these guys live, you are really, really missing out, I've got to tell you. They have great guitar riffs and a solid bass that really drives forward their song. There's been a lot of debate about what sort of category they fit into, whether they're more pop rock or post-hardcore. And while I do think some of their earlier stuff, besides Fuck Workout, their single, could be categorised as pop rock, they've really moved in a more aggressive direction with each album, especially some of the singles we've been hearing this year. They really have moved into post-hardcore. And that was honestly a genre that I thought was kind of played out, that I wasn't really interested in anymore, despite listening to quite a bit of it in the past. And I do quite like some of the music from that genre. But they've really breathed new life into it, and I'm really enjoying what they're putting out. I've made a few videos about them, so I guess check them out if you want, for a bit of cheeky self-promotion if you're interested in hearing them. Now, while these aren't a band that gets loads of like high charting records and singles, they remind me a lot of Cortinas and their approach. They also don't have songs that have tons and tons of streams or YouTube videos with tons and tons of views. Their way to grow is just do so many live shows and put on a killer live show, because that's how you get a name out there, that's how you get people to come and see you, and you can build up a massive fan base to come to your live shows despite not having a super massive fan base that listen to you. So I think Don Broco are a great band, and they have great potential. I think they just really need that one album that will fully break them more into the mainstream, like a big album, and I think they're ready to headline the festival. Now this one's a bit of a change-up, and that is Mercury Prize winner Skepta. Now this is another act that's quite close to headlining, but I do think we'll probably need to wait till 1 or 2 more albums from him to get to the headline level. But Skepta's song, I think, really helped pioneer grime into the mainstream UK music scene, along with Stormzy. When his Konnichiwa album came out, it was hard to escape it no matter how hard you tried. It was on the radio all the time, it was in every club all around the UK. And I really think he, with that album especially, helped take grime from being a bit more of an underground urban thing to mainstream British music. It was things that everyone was listening to at the time, and still are. He's shown he has great talent as both a solo artist, a producer and a member of BBK, and he's really helped revolutionise British hip-hop. Now it seems at the festival that every year we're now getting a hip-hop rap style artist headline the festival. And so far they've been American, but I think the UK is great talent, and they haven't had one of them on yet. I think we need to get someone like him or Stormzy to come and headline the festival, to show some of the UK talent at a UK festival, I say. I mean, granted, they may not have as much of an appeal worldwide as they do in the UK, but I do think we just need a couple more songs, as big as Shutdown was, for him to headline the festival, and I reckon that won't take long. I reckon that's just another couple of years or so. Now at number 6, we've got Blossoms. Now, the day of recording this video, they've just announced their 3rd album, and that may be the album that, well, for a lot of these artists I'm talking about, they need that one more album to reach that level. Maybe this 3rd album will be that for Blossoms, who knows? Now, these guys are very polarising, like every big indie band. No one hates indie Twitter more than indie Twitter. But personally, I think they're great, and I think they're one of the indie bands with the most mainstream appeal out there. They've got nice, fun, easy to listen to indie rock, and well, it's quite poppy indie rock, to be fair. Especially with their use of a synth and a keyboard, which does help make them stand out a bit in a very overcrowded market of UK indie rock. I mean, this year they were, well, 1 below the headliner. Granted, that was the 2 headliner day, and that's only after 2 albums. So I feel after their 3rd, or, well, 4th maybe, but I feel they only need the 3rd album, they will be at the headline level. Now at number 7, we have Dave. Well, first of all, I've got a bit of a confession to make. I'm not going to pretend this is the best and 100% most accurate YouTube channel out there, but one of my biggest mistakes was saying I wasn't that excited about Dave when he was added to the Leeds Festival poster. Because at the time I wasn't really that aware of him, I didn't really know about him until his debut album. He was someone that managed to fly right under my radar, and I really regret that he did. Now, I did miss his show at Reading and Leeds Festival this year because he clashed with 1975, but a lot of people were saying it was their highlight of their weekend, and people are saying similar things about his show at Glastonbury, which had that viral video with the guy Alex. Now, after people like Stormzy, Skepta, Wiley have established the British hip-hop scene and brought it up to a new level, we're looking at a new generation coming in, people like Dave, AJ Tracey and H. And out of all the new guys coming up, I think Dave really has the most potential. His songs really have great melody, and he's also got a bit of an unusual styling. He likes to show off, he plays the piano and he uses that in some of his songs, along with a harp and strings, so it separates him out a bit. He's a bit of a unique guy. Some of his songs really almost sound like poetry, and he's also a very socially aware guy. His lyrics are very interesting. I'm not saying all rappers have bad lyrics, but there's definitely the stereotype that a lot of rap just talks about big booty bitches and drugs. But him, and along with a fair few others, make a lot more interesting lyrics to talk about. There's a lot of politics and society commentary going on in there, and I'm quite interested in that, so I think that makes the music a lot more interesting. I mean, if he can headline the second stage after only one album, who knows where he'll be after 2 albums, 3 albums, 4 albums. Like, he could be headlining Glastonbury at this rate, to be honest. So if you're like I was a few months ago and you don't really know this guy, definitely check him out, because I think there's a solid chance we'll be seeing him headline the festival one day. And one more thing quickly, Dave is also a Mercury Prize winner, like a fair few on this list. I really should have just gone on their website and looked at their winners. That would have saved me a lot of effort researching this video, because they have a great selection. At number 8, we have Pale Waves. Now, when I first heard these guys, I was a bit critical, and I've heard a few other people say similar things. I'm just thinking they're a bit of a B-Tech 1975. But the more giving them a listen, the more I realise they're doing their own thing. Yes, they're fairly similar to 1975, but they're taking it in a different direction, and they're definitely an artist that deserves to be respected as a different artist from 1975. They've got great electro, poppy, rock. Like, in fact, I even made a video on these guys quite a while back about how I think they're going to be the next big thing in a YouTube series I was doing at the time, which I sort of gave up on, but who knows, it may come back. They've really brought 80s synth pop into the modern age by helping to combine it with indie rock, and it's working really well. They've also seen a lot of great support from big name bands out there like the 1975, Core Team, and Muse, which was one that surprised me quite a bit to see them opening for them. So Pale Waves has a great selection of songs, and I think with all the support they're getting and the great songs they have a lot of potential to go really far in their career. There's only one thing I can see holding them back at the moment, and that is they've got quite lackluster live shows. I've seen them live a couple of times, and honestly, I just wasn't that impressed. It was a bit boring at some points even, I hate to say. But honestly, they're quite a fresh band, they're new on the scene, so maybe it just comes with experience and they'll get a lot better, fingers crossed. Now, this next one on the list is the one I am the most doubtful about. I think they're going to go and do great things. I'm not quite sure if they'll reach festival headliner level though. And that is Seagulls, a classic dark fruits band. We can't afford dark fruits around here with the university budget, so we're on Audi's own brand. It's not sponsored, by the way, but Audi, if you're out there and want to sponsor me with your cider, I will happily do it. Now, these guys have managed to gain quite a cult following despite not even having an album out yet, so you know they've got to be pretty good. They have a solid selection of songs. They're fun, they're catchy, they're energy packed, they're great indie rock all round. So yes, they're a great artist, but the one thing I think that's holding them back a bit from reaching that top tier level is they need to find their niche. They're good, but they're just very classic indie. There's not a lot special about them. They need to find something that'll make them stand out a bit more from the crowd, something a bit different, something a bit unique. I think once they figure something like that out, maybe we'll see that on their new album, which will be coming out at some point. I think then that you can nail them down as someone who's going to be a big act in the future. And last but by no means least at all, because they are one of my personal favourites, and that is Yonica. Now, these are radio-friendly, hard-hitting rock and roll. Their music is really strong and really empowering. I mean, they've got some songs which I think are all about female empowerment, but they still make me want to, like, get up, jump on my bed, yell, fuck everybody, and, like, flip a desk over. They pack you with energy when you listen to them. Now, I don't really know if this is a genre, but I would describe these sorts as post-emo music, if you understand what I mean. It's sort of like taking emo music and moved it on into a bit of a modern age, and similar to post-hardcore music, where they take the original genre, they've moved on from a bit and they're taking it to strange new places. Well, at least that's how I interpret the band, because I've had a look at a few places whilst researching for this video, and there seems to be a few different definitions of what kind of music they make. Yeah, it's definitely rock music, but within rock there's so many different subcategories. This is another band that's seen great support from big acts that's really helped push them up higher, such as Bring Me the Horizon. Especially their singer Oliver Sykes has really been supporting this band, like promoting them on his social media just because he likes their music and getting them to open for him in the UK tour. So that's really helped him out a lot and really helped bring a lot of awareness to this band. They also have absolutely killer live shows that if you get a chance to go to, I'd say check them out. Now, they have only had one album out so far and it didn't do too well charts wise. I think it did alright, but not amazing. But I think that's given them a solid foundation, and I feel things can only get bigger and better for them because they have great music. You just need more awareness, you need more people to know about this band because they are truly great. So if they can continue putting out great music, I think we'll likely see them. I reckon they'll be headlining the Radio 1 stage within a couple of years, maybe on the next album. Then I guess we'll see where they go from there. Okay, so that's 10 acts that I think will be future Reading and Leeds Festival headliners. Yes, this is all speculation, it's all down to my own personal opinions and thoughts. I've done a bit of research to see what other people are saying about these bands, and generally they've got quite strong support from critics and fans. Whether or not these bands go on to headline the festival is one thing, but I reckon we'll be seeing great things from all of these in the future, so I think they're all definitely bands to keep your eye on and see where they go in the future. As always, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Do you know any bands that you think could headline the festival in the future that I haven't mentioned on here? Let me know down in the comments, I'll be interested to check them out. And time for the usual YouTube shit. Like, share, comment, subscribe, please, really helps the channel out. I'm going to optimistically aim towards 200 subscribers by the end of the year. I don't know if that's realistic, it probably really isn't, but you could do a great help for me to subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video.